Good evening and welcome to another edition of the Dugout. The test match would have been the fifth day today, right?
Yeah.
Technically, but fifth day test matches are a thing of a past, so we're only getting 2.5 days. The trend remains the same whether it's in India or overseas. But India, unlike on previous occasions, this time has been hard at work. They have not left Adelaide. Usually finish the match and they catch their flights and off to the next destination. But they're happy to stay back in sunny, hot Adelaide to enjoy the good weather there. It's a city of churches that they love. Some good memories overall. Maybe not this test match, but overall. So Indian team has stayed back in Adelaide, but it's not the usual relaxing and sightseeing. They're up to some work. Isn't it? Who will tell us?
They've been practicing.
Siddharth, he's been there since morning following them. Every move of theirs he's followed.
I think a long batting practice session for Virat Kohli, who specifically focused on back of a length and short of a length deliveries while facing them. I think there was a good focus on defending them, and at the very same time, he also focused on art of leaving. I think he was one of the only few batters who was leaving a few deliveries.
Not art of living, art of leaving.
Art of leaving, yeah. So that's the thing. Rohit Sharma looked the most troubled batter.
Shri Virat was concentrating.
Yeah, Shri Virat.
Interesting you mentioned about art of living, because a friend of mine recently checked on me whether I'm available towards the end of the year or the first 10 days, because they have some meditation camp happening. Like, would you be interested? Like, okay, I'll get back.
Good way to get your leaves approved.
He's not getting any leave. He's just come back from, and the shocking thing is, he has missed one test match. I just saw the sketch today. He's not there on the first 2 days of the test match.
No.
I am.
No, he's not.
Because he's off.
He's not.
He is in fact. He's on just one day. No. He has a split off. So basically, the gap in between is of just one day, and that day the test match is there. So he's there for the test match. He's taking it off before that and after that.
No, only
There's a caveat over there.
There is only first day. Second day is not there.
But then the next week will start.
No, he's not there first day.
First day is there.
But he's not there second day or third day.
No, I'm there.
Third day
I'm there.
next week.
Yeah.
Third day is going to be Monday, na?
No. Acha.
Yeah, match starts
so
on
he's
Saturday.
Not there first
Yeah.
day, my friend.
First day he is.
No,
Friday and Sunday.
He's not there. He's not there first day.
Saturday you are there.
When I listen to when some elder person tells you something, he's not there first day. He's not there second day.
I will ensure.
And the test match finishes in 2 days a lot of time. How can a person who, I don't know if you're a cricket lover, you've missed one test match and not be, I know Shashwat would do it. He will say, no, there's no chance. I have to be on the day of the match. First 2 days. He's not there first 2 days.
I'm there the first day. Just that.
He's not there the first 2 days.
Just that. The first day.
You don't have to explain. He's not there. There's nothing. There's no change. He's not there.
But
When you grow up, you will learn.
It's
not there on the first day or the second.
It's the higher ups that decide. I don't do anything now.
There is no higher up.
The higher up man is.
Anyway, the Indian team is hard at work. So as I'm learning from Siddharth, that they are practicing very hard. Virat Kohli focusing on that back foot play. He has been out to those, out of the 4, I think 3, balls outside the off stump. He's nicked them. He's been out. And it's good on that. See, that's one sign of being a great player, that no matter how big you become, you realize that nothing can trump hard work. And I think that's the mantra that Virat Kohli has lived by. All his life, he was probably, even as a young cricketer, never the most talented, but he always put that extra yard, always worked very hard. And even in this situation where he's a certified grade of the game, he still puts in his effort. So good on that, because Indian team will need that. What else happened at the practice session?
Rohit Sharma was troubled a lot by back of a length deliveries, but moving away. No feet movement at all. Like, I looked the full video or the visuals that we got. He looked the most out of sorts batter. KL Rahul looked sharp in defense. I think he practiced a lot, as far as defense is concerned, and which I think gave a clear indication that he is once again going to open in the third test.
We'll get to that. Who's opening, who's not. There's plenty of days. But can I tell you, this practice means nothing, because somebody can look in practice and the match day they won't do anything, and somebody can look very average in practice and be your top scorer.
Oftentimes you're also told that a certain batter will be playing on the eve of the test match. You're told that he will be playing and he gets dropped.
Yeah.
So that happened not too long back.
Not looking at, but one very important thing that's coming out of Australia is that Jasprit Bumrah and Mohammad Siraj weren't there for practice.
That's right.
They have been resting, and in fact, Virat has been continuously practicing. He practiced even on day 2. Once the test match finished early, he was seen practicing hard, which is good, because the more time you spend in Australian conditions, the better you get. But no, Jasprit Bumrah, practicing. I just hope that this is him resting.
2 of them were spotted.
But that's what.
Yeah, so Siraj was asked. In fact, there were reporters out there outside the stadium, and it's come just a few hours, just about 12, 17 hours that time, Australia time, that this penalty was announced, 20% match fee, etc., etc. And he was asked, "What about the match fee deduction, etc., etc." He kept on walking like, "It's time for me to go to the gym. It's all well. It's all well."
So reporter chasing him.
My
God, this is deja vu. This is deja vu. I'll tell you why. This is exactly what Australia did. It's interesting you tell that. So he's walking and the reporter is asking him question.
So the reporters, it wasn't a proper chase per se. I think the area was the area was clearly marked for the media to stay away from. Siraj and Bumrah could be seen walking past the reporters. Where this question was asked, Siraj doesn't stop, he keeps on walking, but he does respond. He was asked about 20% match fee being docked. He said, "It's all good, it's all good." He's like, "But what do you have to say about the match fee? What do you have to say about the demerit point?" "It's all good, it's all good, I'm just going to the gym."
This is exactly what, if what Harshit is saying is true.
It is.
It is.
It is.
Then this is exactly what Australia did in 2008. And I want people to understand, this is how, it's not by chance that these things happen. No? This is what Australia does when they want to trouble it. You've heard it from the greats of the game. Sachin Tendulkar famously said that, when you go to Australia, you're not just playing the 11 men, you're playing a crowd. Every person you meet, everyone is after you. You're playing the media, everyone. And that is true. Sunil Gavaskar oftentimes says that Australian media works as the 12th man. And this is exactly why I said 2008, if you remember the Monkey Gate scenario. After what happened in Sydney, the media kept hounding Harbhajan Singh. Fans kept hounding Harbhajan Singh, even outside the ground. So when the team would practice, they would be walking anywhere. They would shove their mic up Harbhajan's face and try to get a reaction, basically to put him under pressure, to make him say. But Harbhajan being Harbhajan, he used to put headphones, and then pretend he can't hear whatever is being like. The same thing you're saying, they're asking Siraj. Yeah. The question is not that they want an answer out of it. The question is to put it in your head, to make you feel intimidated, to make you feel that you're... And they kept doing it with Harbhajan. But Harbhajan being Harbhajan, a lot of time he would wear a headphone, so that he knew that while walking, their mic used to come, and the occasions he didn't have a headphone, he would say, "English, no. I don't he said, "I don't understand what you're saying." So that was his defense mechanism, which was outstanding, by the way, and Harbhajan showed it. In fact, the Indian team showed it, how they came back in Perth. Yeah. So all these tactics of Australia that to put pressure on players, they did it in 2008, and they're doing it now that you're saying. And I can see with a lot of media reports that they're doing exactly that. And they work in a unison. They work as a team. They work as everyone will come together. The media will come on the same page. The players who are playing will come on the same page. The former players will come on the same page. That's why there'll be a good chance, if you take out Australian papers, Australian media, they'll all be saying things particularly about Siraj. Somebody will question his action. Somebody will say he's not a good player. Somebody will say, oh, he's stepping the line. Whatever, to put self-doubt in the player's mind and think, oh boss, I'm not good enough. It's a hostile place to play cricket. And on cue, and there was a brief time after Sandpaper Gate that they quietened down, they became good boys. But that, I think, time is gone.
Sandpaper Gate has also resurfaced.
Oh.
Yeah. Coincidence that you talk about it, because there's a video that's going viral on social media where, I don't know, Indian fan, but I'm guessing somebody who loves Indian cricket for sure. There's a fan wearing the Indian jersey, he goes around the stadium. Again, can't be verified fully by us, but you know, this fan is then being chucked out of the stadium. He pulls out a sandpaper and he shows it to the Aussie fans. Aussie fans sort of saw that sandpaper coming at them, and some of them were also pointing, okay, there you go, and that's also happening. So yeah, it's all peaking.
But I don't see, again, because it's not verified, and what I could make out of that video was, I don't think that he's been chucked out because of the sandpaper. Anyways, when he was being taken out, he looked very out of control, out of sorts. So there could be other reasons for him getting out of the, getting thrown out of the stadium as well, because we've seen even English fans do this while they face Australia, showing the sandpaper. So I don't think that's the sole reason that they would have actually thrown him out, and I'm pretty sure he would not have been the only one with a sandpaper in such a big stadium with so many people, because many fans would do that just to intimidate Australians, like they are doing with us at this point. Same ways India is also trying to do.
I hope Virat Kohli would have seen this. He told fans not to boo him.
Yeah.
Steve Smith.
2019.
This time they've chucked a fan out. See, okay, fine. You're saying there's no way of finding out whether he has been chucked out because of sandpaper, but there are few things that are certain, right? Few things you can say with guarantee. Firstly, I don't know the veracity of this being, whether it is in Adelaide or not. I don't know, right?
That's somewhat you can establish. I think
It
the
is
stadium,
Adelaide?
yes, because I saw the clip. The stadium is Adelaide. Whether it's this match, day 1, day 2, day 3, there wasn't the day.
That's fine. But see, one thing you can establish, okay, if you're saying it's Adelaide, one thing you can establish. Second thing you can establish is that he's been chucked out.
Yes.
Third thing you can establish, he is an Indian fan. He's wearing the India jersey. And fourth thing you can establish is that he's got the sandpaper and he's teasing the Aussies.
Yes.
So 4 things to at least we know, na? That it is there. And he's getting booed by the Aussie crowd as well.
Just the one thing over there, I would say, Indian fan, I'm not sure, but somebody who definitely likes Indian cricket. Could be someone else.
No,
Asian,
come on.
Asian, that is what you
He's
mean.
an Indian fan. He's wearing the India jersey. Yaar.
Somebody, you know, Indian cricket has fans all over.
But he may not be a fan to your liking, but that does not mean he's not a fan. He may not be your kind of fan. My point is, anyone who's supporting that, if he's wearing the jersey, then he's a fan. No? He may not be your kind of fan or the fan that you approve of, but he's a fan nonetheless.
But I'm no authority. The authority is missing right now.
Indian fans. But I am pretty sure it's not the sandpaper because of which he's been chucked out. And just because we were talking about the practice session, there was one thing I wanted to point out there about Virat Kohli specifically. I think there were a few deliveries there, just a couple of them, and I was going through those visuals, where I thought that even if the ball was a little fuller, he was still going on the back foot. I feel that's great that he's consciously, he knows what the weakness is there, and he's practicing on the back foot. But I just feel that at times that sort of takes over, and your muscle memory, when you're just repeatedly doing that, at times then you're waiting for that short pitch delivery, and that can go against you. We have seen that with Shreyas Iyer a lot of times. I still remember the World Cup final where he was constantly waiting for that for the short delivery, and then the bowlers do the bluff and they set the field for the short pitch ball, and then they sort of go fuller, because then the batter is then got napping.
I don't think it's fair to be assessing that he's making that mistake based on 10 deliveries that you
I'm not
see.
saying he's making a mistake. I'm saying it can happen.
Even if, but I'm saying we don't know whether he is consciously doing that based on the 10 deliveries that he's faced. You're saying that he's going back to certain balls that are not supposed to be. How can you assess that in 10 deliveries that you see him face? For that, you need to see an inning of his, no? I think just as you are being kind enough to that story on fan saying I'm not 100% sure. No, as in you're right on that front, that till the time you're 100% sure that he got chucked out because of sandpaper, you're not going to say he's got chucked out, and that's a fair way of looking at it. I completely agree. But in the similar trend, on 2-3 balls. You can't say that, oh, he's now going to. I mean, it could be a practice. Who
I
knows
just
what he's.
observed it,
But,
that's why.
no, but I'm saying we don't know what he's trying to do. Now, maybe there is something else he's trying to do. Again, it's a practice session. Based on practice session, if you had to pick team, you would have played Akashdeep in the previous.
Anyways,
They
even
didn't.
without
But I'm saying
net
if
session, you
practice-
should have
if
picked
practice
Akash.
session was a, but they didn't. We don't know what he's trying and what he's attempting. That's why I'm saying it's fair to make our assessment based on, if he does that in a proper innings, then I guess then that's something that can be looked at. But like he's chucking while bowling, it's not doesn't mean that he should
gonna
not chuck
chuck.
in practice, because he'll chuck while he's bowling. Right arm menace that is
I
that
was
he had.
putting this up as a reel, and then I thought I should put this only as my slug. The right arm menace. Then I thought that no, maybe not everyone might just not get the reference.
Everyone knows.
No, but
You
because
should have done it. That was a smarter thing to do.
yeah, but I
Right arm
just thought
menace.
that it'll just
Everyone knows him as
being
right
a little
arm
out
menace.
of context.
Everyone knows him as. Anyway, talking about what is happening in Australia, there are, of course, that SIRAJ incident has really blown up in that sense by the media. Just reiterating that same thing, we saw an article in which is quoting Mark Taylor, where he has had a say on, just to reiterate exactly what I'd said about how Australians and how Australian media go about it. This is what Mark Taylor, former Australian captain, has also said. He says, I don't like how he goes past a batter while appealing, assuming he'll be given out without showing any respect. Someone needs to have a chat with him. Basically, the article then goes on to suggest that if he carries on this behavior, he's not too far away from a match ban. And that is the kind of, as I said, this is just reiterating what they do as a country. So if now SIRAJ is the man on target, the players also are targeting him. You saw him when he came out to bat, also bouncers, and they will continue to.
Bouncers, the boos were ringing very loud around the stadium as well.
Do all of you think that that's sort of the way? See, again, I feel maybe it's because of I think it's just the Australian mindset that they just get united on such occasions. I don't think it's sort of a planning, plotting sort of a thing that we need to go after one person. I think that's how they genuinely got affected by what Siraj did. I think that's the difference.
That's one thing. Two, I'm just thinking, because it's not the first time that Siraj's been found in a soup like this. No fault of his, maybe. Again, the jury is out. But memory takes me to the times that, in the IPL as well, people have found him to be extra aggressive at times. In the BGT of the previous tour as well, that time also there was a Siraj incident. So I'm just wondering if this is a person issue, or is this, a larger issue as is being talked about right now?
I think just because Australians are behaving like nice boys, except Travis Head, doesn't mean that Siraj is being disrespectful. It doesn't really mean that I think just because he's walking past the batter, he's appealing, and he's probably, showing that desire to the umpire that yes, he's out, and, maybe the final decision is going to go in his and the India's favor. It doesn't really mean that he's disrespecting any batter. I don't think that I saw any signs of Siraj showing any kind of disrespect to any of Australia's batter in the Adelaide Test. So I'm not really sure whether where this comment is really coming from as far as Mark Taylor is concerned. Just had an Australian bowler maybe done the same with some Indian batter, let's say Yashasvi Jaiswal probably would have been dismissed by Mitchell Starc, and Mitchell Starc would have probably gone past him appealing, or maybe doing something that Mark Taylor just mentioned in his comment. It doesn't really then Australians would have said, oh wow, what aggression, or something like that. Now maybe you have seen a certain Mohammad Siraj being pumped up, or maybe a little frustrated from inside that he's not really, getting those wickets. So maybe he's trying to show that external motivation that yes, I'm going to maybe just be a little more aggressive. Let's see how it impacts my bowling in a positive way or so. just because he's doing it, I don't think he's disrespecting any Australian batter.
But I feel this is our opinion, and I totally agree with your opinion as well. I feel that even Scott Boland, for that matter, when he got KL Rahul out, he went close to him. He was clapping on his face when he was eventually given the no ball. So I think that's fine, and I don't think the problem is with Siraj. I just feel that the Australians have taken this really personally, and I think that that's totally fine. That's how they play their cricket. That's how, like you told me, that they have been like this all throughout the years as well. So I think they've just taken it very personally out here. And also, as far as this comment is concerned, even we took things very personally when they beat us in the final of the World Cup. Even we said that on papers to India has only won the World Cup. So at that point, even that statement did not make any sense in that.
But you know, this I see as
A fair comparison.
yeah.
No, but
I think that's after the event happened. While I agree that wasn't correct to say it, but that's a different thing. Anyway, I'll address what he says. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll just maybe say one more thing. In 2021, the incident that obviously Harshit also mentioned a few minutes back, when Siraj was hurled those racial abuses by some of the fans at the SCG, that famous test that India drew courtesy Ashwin and Vihari. I think India never took it personally. India did have a chance to take it personally because the umpires did ask your stand-in captain Ajinkya Rahane and the Indian team support staff also that you can go off the field and it's going to be absolutely fine. We're not going to penalize you or anything like that. But they did not do it, and they chose to rather focus on the game. However, what's really happened in the Adelaide test and how maybe a certain Mark Taylor or any of the experts are putting, I'm not really sure if that's the right assessment of it, because I don't think that I actually saw any of the visuals which I can say with some kind of confidence that okay, Mohammad Siraj was maybe blatantly disrespectful to any of Australia's batters. That was never the case.
yeah, even I agree. I don't think that was the case. Even what I do not agree even 1% to what he said. All I'm trying to say is that I'm trying to understand where they are also coming from.
So
okay. Just my last 2 cents on this. I think what's happening over here in terms of the media build-up, in terms of the crowd reaction, the player reaction has been very limited. Just Travis Head exchanging some words. Otherwise,
no, I don't think it's limited. The Australian team had a go at Siraj when he came out to bat.
Yeah.
Pat Cummins, a nice guy, also giving him bouncer after bouncer.
but that's
Head
he's
also,
well within his rights.
No, but I'm just
saying in terms of being chirpy.
No, so they said that we won't be chirpy, we'll hurt him.
Yeah.
That's even Travis Heard also had something to say while he was batting.
Yeah, but I think Australia, again, we're talking more about the fan base per se. I think they don't like being given a piece of their own medicine. You look at their rivalry with England also over all these years. I'm going to talk about a few characters. Look at Kevin Peterson. Look at an Andrew Flintoff. The guys who would take the fight to them. Numerous times that they would be booed as well. Here comes an Indian team. Here comes a Siraj who's fired up. He was ready to go toe to toe with the Australians. Give it to them. He may have been the aggressor. He may not have been the one to react. He may have been the one to act expecting a reaction. But usually what you've seen from Australia is they're the ones to act and then there's a reaction. It's just happening the other way around, and Australia just getting a piece of their own medicines. That's the way I look at this situation.
But like Gulati sir also mentioned, last time when all these things the things that happened with Siraj on the boundary line, at that time there was a lot of criticism about a Steve Smith, a David Warner, all the senior players in the Australian team, that nobody actually came out and talked about that. In fact, they, like Virat Kohli, when people were booing Steve Smith in India, Virat Kohli stopped them. Same was expected from a Steve Smith when something like this happened to Siraj. But he did not do that. I think it's just the feeling of unity and just standing with your own people, no matter if they are right or wrong. I think that's a different thing. That's something very personal to them. That's something that they want to sort it out themselves. They do not want to sort of take the fight on. When they're taking the fight on against somebody else, I think they are just being very united on this, and that's been working for them. I'm not saying that Siraj has done anything wrong or what is right or wrong. All I'm trying to say is I do understand from what place they are coming from. Nothing is right here.
I do not understand what place they're coming from, and that's why, to go back to Shashwat's point, he says that they are actually, he doesn't agree that they actually make a planned thing. They genuinely believe in this, and so they are saying that, right? Your opinion is that it's not a planned move by the media, former players, and I'll tell him multiple reasons why he's wrong. Firstly, it happens on a regular basis. Why is it that everyone in India, people will have different opinions, right? In Siraj's case, there are people who've said right thing, there are people who've said wrong things.
Yeah.
In Australia, everyone will agree. And if I was to assume that they genuinely believe like that, then they should stand up, or they should have stood up when Glenn McGrath used to misbehave with Sachin Tendulkar. None of them ever said that that's fine. They should have stood up when Ricky Ponting is claiming a dropped catch and saying it's out. They should have stood up when Ricky Ponting is abusing a Srinath when he's apologizing to him to bowl a bouncer. Then all these players, Mark Taylor was around, all of them were there. They should have said, this is wrong. Ricky Ponting is crossing the line. If they continues, the entire Australian team kept appealing. That test match was a farce in Sydney. They kept appealing because he's having problem with the appeal, no? Mark Taylor was there that time also. I didn't hear Mark Taylor come out and said, sorry, but this is crossing the line in appealing. This is not how it is. Somebody needs to have a word with the Australian team. If that was his benchmark or his standard, it should come out for the Australian team as well. This is the same Australian team that would badmouth thing. This is the same Australian team that cheated with the sandpaper gate. That was blatant cheating. But then the whole media should write about it, no? That same media who finds Siraj guilty, okay, fine, you're saying they have certain standards. That's why they're saying it. They believe in it. It's not a plan, they believe in it. None of them were that critical when that happened. It's the South African media that caught them cheating. None of those media wrote about it when they were cheating in 2017 here at the Border Gavaskar Trophy, when Steve Smith was slyly looking at the dressing room and asking whether it's out. I didn't see the same writers that are writing for newspaper. They're writing now that Siraj is wrong. They are writing, fine, they are following some, but they didn't write that yes, they are cheats. It took a Virat Kohli to say it, and actually what Virat said was completely right. He didn't use the word, but he was right. So my point is, it's a bit rich coming from Australia that do not, and bit rich coming from the media, from their former players, from the current players, all of them. Because if there is one country that's flouted these kind of line or spirit or whatever you may call it, more than Australia, I can't think of anything. So that's fine, you can be that team. But if you are like that, if you are a team that likes to go and push boundaries in a striving, in an attempt to win, then you should do it. This Mark Taylor, when he was captain, I've seen cricket while he was captain, he had a Merv Hughes, who was anything but an ideal bowler, fast bowler to have. Anything but that. He as captain never went and said that, listen, Merv, big Merv, behave yourself. This is not how you're supposed to.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That I'm totally agreeing that whatever that he has said is completely wrong. I do not agree.
I'm
with
not
it.
saying whether he's right. You said
You're
this.
saying that he should have said it out that point also.
No,
but that's what I'm telling you. That I think they're just so united when it came to the sandpaper gate thing. As far as the laws were concerned, they were not supposed to get the kind of ban that they got. But because it came on their dignity, they sort of went that extra mile and took that.
It did not come from former cricketers or media.
It came from
the Prime Minister. When they felt embarrassed about what is done, then my point is, you can have those standards. See, either you play dirty, if you are like that kind of a thing, you can't be a Mike Tyson and then say the other person, I'm Mike Tyson, I'll be like the way I want to be. But the other person have to be behaving like that.
I just think that it's being very united for your own people, and even if they're wrong, just standing up for them. And not just taking the side of your people, even if they're wrong.
So that's exactly what I said. That if you're united, my point is exactly that what I began with. That this is what they get united on. Whether it's right or wrong doesn't matter. That's what I started. Whether it's right or wrong, it doesn't matter. The media, former player, current player, everyone will unite in an effort to put the pressure on the thing. But in your opinion, it's not that they genuinely have decided to do it. They genuinely feel like that. I'm sorry, but they don't genuinely feel like that. Because if they genuinely felt this strong about Siraj's behavior, they would have called out all other players of their own team to do it. They have not done it. So exactly my point. So if they unite to then that's what they're doing. They're uniting. It's a part of the plan. They're uniting to put the team under pressure. That's exactly what I said.
Exactly. That's what also.
But that's not what you said.
No, but what I'm trying to say is they're uniting for one cause. That's for the team, and I don't see anything wrong in that.
No, but So that's what I'm trying to say, that if you're uniting for the team, whatever that team is, then you should have the same standard for everyone else. You should have the same standard for any, or otherwise you don't have a foot to stand on. And by the way,
It's uniting to prove India under pressure.
So then it's a part of a plan.
Yeah,
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what I'm saying. Everyone got together and you're doing it. That's part of the plan. What I would now want to see from the Indian team, I would want the Indian team, and probably that's where I miss, not to say, by the way, that Rohit will not do it. Rohit has also had his word on SIRAJ. He has said that he's going to back him. But I would, that is why I'm reminded of the time when Virat was captain. That was the perfect way to deal with Australia. I think he did it very well. That is how it should have been. Because he knows, see, if there is genuine criticism about you or your behavior, you as a player understand. You have taught many other countries where you may have goofed up, and then there is genuine criticism. You understand that. And and there have been times we've also criticized Indian players for pushing the boundary. But I think that, that period when Virat, that 2018 series, you went there, you realized that this is the way, 2014, 2018, this is the way you need to deal with Australia. Sometimes you also come out and say things in press which you do not mean, but you do it specifically to put the pressure back. Because if you sit back and relax, that's what I'm saying. I hope Rohit Sharma, as captain, he's already spoken in favor of SIRAJ, but I hope he goes the next mile and empowers his players and tells his players. I hope this is that turning point. It's all 1-1 in the series, but this is that turning point that fires up this Indian team to treat the Australian team the way they should have been, because only that's the way to control them. If you try and be goody two shoes, it's not going to allow. And maybe this will then eventually help Indian team to execute their plans. Because Travis Head came out to bat and you bowled him half volleys to begin with. You should have done what the Indian team did to Head in 2018. I remember watching that documentary that they've got where Travis Head said, oh my God, it was so tough to play Indian fast bowlers. Why? Because they saw him and bowled those bouncers to begin with.
The test you're talking
Yes,
about.
and then he got caught, trying to defend those balls. And Indian team were pretty nice to him to begin with. I hope that this is that moment. They realize that this Australian, ecosystem, I will say, of former players, media, current players, all are going after SIRAJ. And this is that time, that pack of dogs mentality. You come back fighting, and then you also make them realize. Just as the Australian team united to target SIRAJ with bouncers when he came out. I think this is the moment when they read these comments. Travis Head, whether he gets runs or not, his life
should be like a living hell
I
on
hope,
the field.
I hope,
that's very
I
true.
hope that can be done.
But yeah, that's very true. But again, I don't see anything wrong in them going after the Indian team, putting them in pressure.
You never said wrong. I never said, but you said they are not doing it as part of plan.
Yeah.
You said by saying that no, they genuinely feel like that. I'm sorry, sir, they don't genuinely feel like that. Because they genuinely feel like, I'll give you who feels genuinely like that. Let's say a Sunil Gavaskar feels like that. He believes that a bowler should not be using cuss word against batter. Now, whether it's an Indian bowler or whether it's an overseas bowler, he will say exactly the same thing. He did an interview with us where he said that yes, SIRAJ shouldn't have done that, right? He's an Indian bowler, but he said what he believes in. I'm sorry, but the Australian team does not do that. They don't believe in that. As I told you, Mark Taylor was captain where a Merv Hughes played under him. He didn't believe like that in excessive appealing. Mark Taylor was there. He was writing columns when they were doing excessive appealing in the Sydney Test match of 2008, where they, got that fast of a win. He should have said that Australia were excessive appealing. They kept hounding Steve Buckner at that time for out. The whole team would come on there. That wasn't excessive appealing for him. Please, I don't think they believe in that.
I think that's fine, and I think
Forget
I personally
that was just farcical appealing, I would say. That was the world seeing what low standards of cricket can be. What Mark Benson did, what Steve Buckner did, that was just shameful.
But I personally I'm not talking about you are saying that it's shameful. I'm just saying that I personally like this approach by the Australians. I'm not saying that I like that it's happening to SIRAJ. I'm just saying in general, just the fact that if something has happened to a particular player, all of them come together and are backing that player and are ready to go after whoever is on the other side. I see that would not have happened in India. But I personally,
I just gave you example under Virat Kohli, the team
Yeah.
did exactly that.
Yeah.
They went after. So why do you saying it won't happen under India?
not just the team. I think just the experts and everybody.
No, but no, it has happened in the past. I don't know, 2001.
No, but being here, we could have every one of us.
2001, okay, Port Elizabeth Test match. There were charges of ball tampering, excessive appealing against Indian team.
Ajay Jadeja, Sachin
Everyone came together. No, I don't think there was Jadeja. There was
Jadeja
Sachin,
then?
there was Sehwag, there were all of them. So there was excessive appealing and so on and so forth. And then even the commentators came together because they saw Ravi Shastri came to the press conference, and there was the match referee who passed away a few years ago. Forgotten his name, the one who gave them those bans. How could I forget his name?
Shepherd, was it?
No, match referee. No. He's a former player. Mike. I'll remember. He came to the press conference and he kept asking him. The media kept asking him about Mike Dennis. Correct. Mike Dennis came and he was there, and media kept asking him about this, and he would not answer those questions. And Ravi Shastri, who was the commentator there, came to that press conference and said, Mike, he told there was another official sitting next to him. He said, if he's not going to answer, if Mike's not going to answer, why have you got him in Ravi Shastri in the press conference as a commentator? He said, if he's not going to answer questions, why have you got him in the press conference? We all know how he looks like. We don't want to see his face if he's not. He said this in a press conference. So it's not that Indians have not.
I feel that's really good, and I think that's exactly how you should be backing the team, because again, when this thing happened with Siraj,
not at the cost of double standards. The Indian team did not do double standard. The Indian commentators didn't do double standard. They saw
they're doing it to put the team under so that the Australian team ends up winning.
No, they came together because they saw that something wrong was happening, so they stood together. But in Australia's case, they will necessarily know that what the Indian team is doing is not necessarily wrong because they themselves follow those rules. But for the other team, they'll target, which is okay, fine. If it's their tactic, let them continue. Yeah. They've done it for many years. But it's not that I'm sorry to. No, it didn't work the last two series. They've been hammered. So I hope that this is. See, also I've seen the Indian team needs a,
push.
Yeah, a bit of waking up.
But because in the case of Siraj, even though Siraj is wrong, I do agree that it would have been double standards to protect him here. But if everybody would have protected him in that sense, I would not have called that.
By the way, what is wrong that in his case? I'll just in a larger picture. Forget Australia. Test cricket is dying in general. You had a South Africa Sri Lanka match played to an empty stadium. Okay. India and Australia still get those kind of crowd, whatever. But if you're going to have this sort of an approach now where you just want bowlers to mind their P's and Q's, or to push them, anyway you're fighting for survival as a sport against so many other. This is one thing that adds something to that sport. People like to watch. If you're going to start curbing this appeal also, people are trying to make their sport more exciting. You are hell-bent, it's exciting, but I will make it more boring. I mean, I just can't understand.
How do you define it? I think there is a definition issue there as well. How is a bowler then? There is no code of appealing for bowlers in the game. I'm not sure if there is one. And what's going to be the threshold? How do you define, let's say, by this logic, I see there being a time where Mohammad Rizwan will be asked to not keep the wickets because he goes up for even instances when the ball is good couple of inches away. Rashid Khan, we know, gets extremely elated as well. So there's no stopping this.
I think
the umpire can say no. The umpire can always say no, not out. We'll let him appeal every ball.
No, but the
umpire can have a view where but why should there be any threshold is my point. Umpire can have a view that this one appeals for everything, so I'm going to give less out on him. Let that be a sort of a penalty, not overtly, but it will happen. No, human nature. If I'm the umpire, somebody keeps appealing for everything, then I'm going to be looking at his appeals very carefully.
Yeah.
And the bowler will stand to lose. But why do I have to penalize him?
Yeah. No,
if he's appealing less or more?
there is this thing na, that the umpire can take that call if he feels,
why?
because if it against Rizwan it has happened a couple of
but
times.
why even that needs to happen is my point.
Shakil
Why
Al
that?
Hasan and other-
Why that?
I think in
needs
a
to
recent
happen?
interview, Anil Chaudhary did say that, I'm extra careful when there's a Rizwan standing behind the
Exactly.
stumps.
They
Because
don't listen to him.
So players
Yeah.
will.
That's exactly
yeah,
what he
but
said.
players will realize that. Let him be. I'm saying just don't make the game, even more boring. People are finding it tough to watch 4-day, 5-day test matches. Let there be something in
in
that
fact, there was
whole
a
day.
column today in one of the Australian dailies that I saw that, it's high time. What you've seen in the series so far, you have to be going to 4-day test matches.
Michael Vaughan only said this.
But,
Or I
there
think
are a lot of
Simon.
test
Lot of-
matches
yeah,
that
yeah.
have gone 5 days.
Yeah.
That's another debate for
Yes.
for another day.
But
Lots
just
of-
circles all around, test match cricket, fighting a battle for survival.
yeah,
All of it.
But that's a.
But so is
debate
ODI
for a-
cricket
That's a debate for another day.
at the time.
Yeah.
Right now, though, should we delve into questions?
No, I want to know from all of you that what is India going to do from now on?
No,
I
think
you know
that
what,
that's the only
before
way.
we get to that, you mentioned something about this being the instance that fires the Indian team up. But I'm just looking at the fact that is the 10-wicket loss not enough for it to act as a booster or a shot in the arm for the Indian team, or everything happening around Siraj is that the bigger factor here? I think the 10-wicket.
No, why 10-wicket loss will fire you up for practice, na? You need that extra motivation, na? Virat Kohli needs that. Practice he's doing.
So you think this is firing India up right now for the
course.
third match, or the nature of the
of
defeat?
course, both
like
things,
for
no.
Australia, 295 runs, historic defeat, was big enough. Was big enough. So if you ask me, again, the noise may be something at the moment for us to all gauge and for the Indian team to also live with, but I think a 10-wicket loss, the fact that second innings you score 5 runs short of the first innings total, you win the toss, you don't do good with the bat yet again for 2 test matches, I think that's reason enough for India to feel fired up and have that kick up the backside, let's say.
But I think to get fired up, firstly, I think you get fired up when something like this happens, when you yourself are like everything is sorted for you yourself and still things are not going your way, then such things I think fire you up. But I think at this point there are so many other factors that will be troubling the Indian team that getting fired up from here seems very unlikely.
I'm not sure if the whole team is.
I didn't understand. Getting fired up for Indian team is unlikely.
Yeah, like the
They're not going to
we
fire
had.
up.
No, they will.
They'll go to sleep from now.
No.
So I want to know.
What I'm trying to say is that such things will not as...
Achha, you're saying this is not a catalyst enough?
Yeah, because there are too many problems already that the Indian team needs to deal with, personally also.
But a lot of time these things only get the team together. Problems or not problems, you are saying that the problem is related to their batting order or the problem is related to infighting. What is the problem?
No, batting order, one problem.
Infighting.
Each
So,
batter having
he
their own
said there is
problems
issue
as well.
between Shami and
No, I didn't.
I also interacted with somebody in office today who I saw after a long time and was asking the same thing. What's this tussle happening within the Indian team? What are these calls people are talking
so
about?
Even if tussle is happening, let's say hypothetically, I don't believe, but it is. This is the situation. I don't know. I'm surprised Shashwat is saying that this will not fire the Indian team.
No.
If you ever need a catalyst, what better catalyst than this? Then everyone is targeting Mohammad Siraj, from the bowlers to the batters to the close-in fielders to the crowd to the media, everyone. If this doesn't fire you up, what is that dialogue from Gangs of Wasepur?
Yeah, तेरा खून कब खोलेगा फैजल?
So then कब इसके बाद कब?
No, but I think when you're waiting for a miracle, it doesn't happen when you're waiting for a miracle. It happens when you are doing your process right.
No, a miracle? Who's waiting for a miracle?
It will be close to a miracle now from here to win the series.
No, I don't think so. You can still win the series. I think we have discussed this at length that both batting teams are equally fragile.
I find it really hilarious that he thinks that
Yeah.
No, not a
situation like this
No.
will not fire the Indian team up.
No, it will. No, I'm not saying this cannot fire the team up, but I think before that
Every
there are
time
many.
he says it cannot be done. I'm not saying this.
There are many layers before that need to be.
On
removed
that, I
first.
sort of agree with him. I sort of agree. This isn't India's only problem right now, and clearly not the biggest problem.
I'm not saying this is the problem.
Yeah, so
but
it is-
It is when you lost the 2017 Pune Test match, India had many problems.
Yeah.
But it was that incident that fired them up. No team is without problems, my
Yeah.
friend. I'm
There
not
you
saying
could
that.
handle the
by
wickets
the way,
now.
I'm just.
It's-
this
it's
is-
not
just
big
to-
enough,
Just to
it's-
rephrase it, I'm not saying that this incident will help India win the series. Of course not. For that, they have to score runs with the bat. They have to take wickets. Of course not. Nobody is saying that.
The way I look at it, this is not anywhere close to what we saw in 2008. It is miles away from what we saw. That had become, a national issue. This is nowhere close to that.
Virat got upset with that shoulder movement blocked him from Instagram. That's a minor thing. This is more than that. Now, come on, yaar.
But my only thing being, right now I think the Indian team has bigger fish to fry at the moment, and you need to address those issues. This I think adds. I think what it does is, if you needed an extra, push in the series, if the series wasn't high octane already, you know what? First day Brisbane is already sold out. So this is what it adds.
Even the
MCG is
boxing-
sold out.
Yeah,
even MCG is
first
sold
day.
out. There are just a few tickets to be released for
Boxing Day
non-member.
full house.
No,
it's for the first
one
time that
batch-
the non-Ashes
one batch
test
of-
matches.
One batch of tickets still to be released.
Non-Ashes
That's a very
test
small
match,
number.
it's full in for the boxing.
But what it does, it adds more spice. I know for a fact when you see Siraj bowl, whether the Indian team becomes the first team to bowl or not, the time that he gets the ball, there will be boos ringing around the stadium, and it just takes the temperature, it just takes the excitement, everything to different level altogether, and I like that.
I think it's going to fire Team India, but more than that, if there's anyone who is going to get fired up after this incident, is Virat Kohli. That how, dare it happened with my teammate. That's what I think it's really going to be.
But you know who I want most to be fired up?
Rohit.
Rohit Sharma. Because the captain sets the template. I know he's a different demeanor as Virat, and I don't expect him to be exactly like that. But you could be the captain who sits back, but somehow, tells
Just
the
stoke
garden
it.
mein ghumne wale
Keep
bande,
stoking.
हाँ,
Keep stoking.
Come on, garden mein ghumne walo. I give an example. Like I know that, and this is where somewhere, I draw a comparison between MS Dhoni and Rohit Sharma as captain in Test match cricket. Both great white ball captains, but in Test match, sometimes you need that extra
Proactive.
extra, thing to see. In MS's case, there were a lot of time where I thought that as Test captain, he allowed the game to drift away. Because he was always quiet within himself, thinking a lot about the game and making his plans. But that kind of energy would not move to the rest of the team. And that's why you did not have that kind of great test success under MS Dhoni, the captain, because you needed that bit of a fire. I think that's the biggest change that Virat made when he came on as captain. He needed that even while fielding. I think somewhere you will need that energy. And as I said, Rohit doesn't have to be exactly as animated as Virat. He doesn't have to be. You could be a different kind of captain. But instead of getting into the MS mold, if you get more into the Virat Kohli mold for Rohit in this test match, where you somewhere have this talk and allow certain players, which he said in his comment as well, he knows what fires him up. There'll be a few other players, this is Yashasvi, there could be few, who can chirp around. You got to make life tough for, so I think the next time a Travis Head comes out to bat, his life should be made. He gets runs, doesn't get runs is a different thing. It should not be as easy. And I think that's where the captain will have to take the first step.
No, that way is, I think, Patty and Rohit, both the same mold, I feel. Again, Cummins...
but Cummins may not show, but he's the one who started bowling those
Exactly,
bounces.
yeah. So that's what...
Cummins is so sturdy. He made
that's what you want to see.
Hazelwood sit out for this
Rohit
match.
Sharma didn't use any cuss words. He
doesn't have to.
No, I'm talking about the T20 World Cup as well. But when he hit those 90 odd runs, the time that he was murdering Mitch Stark, the time that he was absolutely bashing the Australian bowlers, you knew there was aggression within. You knew it had to do with what had happened the previous year.
White ball is different. Test cricket,
Does it?
I tell you, because
So
there
with
are
your
long
actions.
periods of time.
Yes, so it's with the actions, it's with how he addresses.
But here you need more, is what my point is. In white ball cricket, no, there is no time.
So I want those aggressive field sets. I want there to be a short leg. I want there to be a short third. I want those bouncers. I want that.
No, there has to be more than that. There has to be more than that. There has to be a plan on intimidating teams. That's where Test cricket comes. In white ball, there's no time. You can intimidate them with batting. Your mouth doesn't have to do anything. Other, semantics. There's nothing. No posture. Nothing. Here are a lot of things. How when a player comes, where the fielders are, what the captain
That's what I'm
is
saying. I want
those things.
I want aggressive field sets. I want Rohit. The brief should be okay. Here's head now.
There has to be a bit of chopping as well.
Exactly.
I'm sure it'll happen.
He doesn't have to do it. There are players around him to
But
do
he has
that.
to empower them.
Empower them. Yes,
Exactly,
he has to be the
I'm not saying
enabler. He has to be the enabler for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
There is a Virat to do that. There is a Siraj to do that. There is a Rishabh Pant to do that. And Ashwin can also do it, as we've seen in the past as well. So yeah.
That's why Narayan is more successful in T20.
Narain. Yeah.
He is a very quiet person, but with the bat and all.
No, but I think especially in T20 cricket, you still, you can wait for things to happen because both the teams are toe-to-toe and it's edge-to-edge. The batters also need to score runs quickly. So there you can wait. You should in fact wait for things to happen. There you need to be cool. But in Test cricket, you need a captain like Virat, for sure.
Can we take questions or you want us to take this? Shivam wants us to take. Okay, so Shubham has a question for you, Harshit. Harshit, suppose you fail an exam. Have you failed an exam, by the way?
I think I have.
Okay. And then the teacher insults you that you won't pass ever. Won't you get extra motivation for passing exam after that?
Can I tell you one thing? The time that I failed the exam, I didn't feel bad at all. Because I never prepared for it. I knew I was going to fail.
Take his thing. Now, if the teacher insults that you are good for nothing, you will never in your life pass this exam. Will you not go back and say, nah, so I will pass this exam?
But nobody is passing those statements on SIRAJ, right? Nobody is passing those statements on Indian cricket. So to say, this is again, at the moment, if I know at the start of the year, okay, my math is weak, which it is even now. But then, am I making efforts? So right now I know there is bigger fish to fry at the moment. I just feel, you could have been in a situation looking at things differently if your batting was working out. I think the batting is the bigger problem right now.
No, it is. Nobody is denying that. Of course there is. I'm saying there are other things to a game just other than batting.
The insult thing, that the analogy that he is drawing right now, has the Indian team been insulted on this tour as yet? Has the Indian team been...
That poor fan, if he was chucked out for showing sandpaper, which we do not know, he's been insulted. You also cannot be 100% sure he's not for that. Yeah, just as you cannot be...
The only insult that has happened is that you got wrapped up inside 2.5 days. You couldn't even play 500 balls in a test match. Your batting did not click yet again. Perth also, it's a reminder. You win the toss again, winning the... Right now, you've not even reached that stage in the series where we're cribbing about not winning the toss and things going against our will and wishes.
That is also going to happen.
Of course, those things
You
happen.
can't win all 5 tosses.
No, but I hope we are not cribbing about not winning the toss.
No, not cribbing. He's saying when you look at a match, I wish we would have won. Not
right
cribbing.
now, none of that. Everything's a controllable till now.
Okay.
Even playing the 11, that to happens even before the toss.
That will continue to happen. Because I know what 11 they're going to play.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be happy.
It's going to be the same.
I know that.
It's just going to be swap in batting positions.
We'll
at
see,
the
no?
match.
On Friday we will.
I don't believe in that
Friday
either.
we will do it. Shubham Garg, what's your view on Australian ex-cricketer bashing Siraj for doing appeals, not looking at umpire? Shashwat, are we allowed to support Siraj at least?
I to support.
I think we've addressed the appeal
Yeah.
thing, but you can address
But I supported Siraj the most. I still am supporting Siraj. All I'm trying to say is that I do understand where the Australian media and the Australian people, even for that matter, players, former players, are coming from, and I sort of like what they are doing, and I hope that we also, as Indian fans, well-wishers of cricket, are able to do that.
actually, tell you, I do not support. I don't think you should plan this thing to do it. Even if teams come to India, I do not like the fact that just because the opposition team is there, we should all plan and do this. I do not like that. I think your commentators, and there are a lot of times we've called out our own commentators for defending something that India has done wrong. We have. And I would like even Australia to do that. They should be commenting as commentators. Yes, players coming together to bounce Siraj, of course you're playing together as a team, you're doing it fine. But the media and former players have to take an objective view. And I would
Maybe
like
there's a solution to it.
Indian thing to do it. I'm not a fan of everyone coming together and that's right.
I think
Just an
maybe-
example from daily life. If I have a friend and if my friend is into a fight and if even my friend is wrong, I'd still be by the side of my friend, even if I know that my friend is wrong.
Yes.
And that's exactly
the
how
difference is,
what they're doing.
The difference is your friend is your teammate, sir. When you are sitting out, when you and I are sitting part of the media, we are not friends of anybody. First, you need to understand that. A former player who's doing a role as a commentator is not friends of her. Yes, I made it clear that your teammates will. So if Siraj misbehaved with head and Cummins bowled him a bouncer. I agree with that. That's his friend, right? Not the players who are sitting outside. They're supposed to be objective. That's their primary job. You cannot. Please don't justify everyone coming together as a mob after somebody just because it is against. There are a lot of times, I'll tell you, when India were preparing gaddas, there were certain Indian players that were defending. Did we not criticize them? Or did we say, no, now it is India, so we will all, Indian media, let's write, this is right, these pitches are right. All former players, let's say that these pitches are right. I don't think that's how it works. Yeah, players standing up for each other or the spinners, or that's fine. I don't understand that. That's why I said, in Australia, it's not even they believe in it, because in their own thing they have different standards. And the teammate standing is fine, but I cannot believe that the media and everyone else are playing like teammates. There has to be a difference. You are beyond the boundary line, sir. Any time you are beyond the boundary line and you're doing a job, you have to look at it objectively. At least that is what is the basics of being a commentator or a broadcaster or a media. I'll give an example. I was doing a broadcast, and in one of my broadcasts, I don't think I mentioned before, I ended up saying we instead of India. When I was speaking to a expert, I said, shouldn't we have got so-and-so bowler a little earlier? I did not say should India, it was a test match. And I got a message from the editor saying that how did you say we? You are not the Indian cricket team. You are an Indian who's analyzing the game. You have to say India did that. And he was absolutely right. I'm very mindful of that, but it was a slip of tongue. I didn't realize it. But he was right. That's what we're supposed to do.
Also, like I'll tell, one of the incidents that that was there in 2017. I was one of the reporters for that test match. India versus Sri Lanka Delhi test that was marred by pollution. I was in the stadium for that match. Yeah. So like Sri Lankan players, they were really struggling. I could, witness it because I was in the media box for all the 5 days. And then, when we went for those, post-day conferences, all the Indian players or anyone who came from the support staff, Bharat Arun, whether they was Chiteshwar Pujara or anyone for that matter, they were like, no, there is nothing and we are absolutely fine with it. But then we all knew that it was a problem for all. But yet the Indian team did not admit it.
That I can understand because they are contracted players and they have to say it for, they're part of a system. But you and I are not, right? Mark Taylor is not. Yeah. They're independent commentators, Damien Fleming and everyone else. Haddon, I've been listening to all of their thing. Few writers whose articles we saw. They can write, no, but they will make it a plan to come together as a whole and trouble, and everyone is playing the 12th man. Okay, you could do it, but I would not subscribe to it. I wouldn't want that to happen. I think people should. And I could still believe, as I said, if they were so holier than thou in their own approach, that they played with absolute honesty while they were playing. Yeah. So then I can understand. Boss, see, that they themselves were so prim and proper. They were anything but
even
that.
I personally wouldn't subscribe to it. It's just that I don't see anything wrong in it either.
Shubham Garg, he says that I'm happy Australia is now after India. This bunch of Indian players knows how to give it back. Remember 2021 Lords, how they haunted them like a pack of wolves.
Hunted them, yeah. They did. That's exactly what I said. 2018 as well. Made life hell. I hope this happens. And just for the whole series, it'll add so much more spice. I think I'll love it. I hope the umpires can, also keep
Brace
their,
up.
behave themselves a little bit and allow things to happen. Like as I say, in football, I like referees who allow the game to happen unless it's a major foul. I hate referees who like for every touch, you stop the game. So let it continue unless something major happens. You step in and so now I'm going to complain. Now you're crossing the line. Yeah. Here and there, allow it. Match referees. Let it be a spectacle. People have paid big bucks to come and watch the game. People are watching on television. Yeah. Let them enjoy it. Okay, I Love Mutton Biryani says, we'll be back with the red ball. Batters just scored 300. This series will be one to remember. Can one of Rohit Pant play like head and wide head blatantly lie in the PC? To answer your first question, see again, it's his word against Siraj, so I'm not getting into who said what. I think the two people who know it best are Head and Siraj. One of them
they've hugged it out.
Yeah, but that's fine. But on the subject of Rohit, Panto is anyway playing like
Yeah.
head.
First
But
ball, he
Rohit, I
dances
said it
down.
before also. That's exactly how I wanted him to play. I'm still saying if he bats in the middle order, I don't know whether he will or will he go back to open. But if he does bat in the middle order in Gabba, I would still like him to play, a runner ball sort of a knock. Because that suits him. It'll do well. Sharan is saying, Nikhil bhai, hearing news that Gabba has changed its curator in the last few years, could be a fast bouncy pitch. Do you think could it work in India's favor? I mean, if it is a fast bouncy pitch, I've oftentimes said that a low scoring game should favor the Indian team as well. Because both batting lineups not in great form. Both test matches, one man made the difference. You had Yashashvi from India in the first and you had Head for Australia. So if India play the right 11, I think it'll be an even Steven game. Even on a pitch where there's lateral movement, because Australian batters would struggle same way. That's why some counter-attacking batting is needed for India. Score that, get those runs. Your bowlers will do the job. Play Akashdeep. Play a 4 fast bowler if you want.
Bring in Shami.
Shammi, yaar, again. Let him relax.
Vishal Panchal. The way Test cricket is played these days, batting average of late 30s and early 40s will be considered good for future players compared to the late 40s or 50s. I think it also has to do with abundance of T20 cricket.
Does this
Till then, to KL Rahul, till the time 40s and late 30s is fine. Till then, he would have played 100 tests.
does this serve well for Test cricket if that really happens? Not really sure about it.
Yeah, but it is bound to happen. I'll tell you why. Because no matter what, your test match technique will be compromised.
If you're playing so much T20 cricket. I
White
absolutely
ball.
agree.
White ball. It'll
Absolutely
happen.
agree.
Till the time, two are very different.
Yeah, and see, even previous generation, firstly, they didn't have a lot of T20. So T20 wasn't there. And ODI also wasn't as ballistic as it is today. So somewhere you could still strike that balance. The gap wasn't that much. Now that gap has become huge.
Enormous.
Or you can
Huge.
start scheduling tests and T20s together so that the teams have to make two separate teams and then Test cricket will remain Test cricket.
You can't do that. Yeah, you're fighting for the same eyeballs. It's only that one universe. So only so those many people who watch cricket in this world. They are limited to India, bit of Pakistan, Bangladesh, very little in Sri Lanka now, it's dying.
Afghanistan is
Australia
on the
only
rise.
when Ashes or India go.
Yeah.
They don't care much about white ball anyway.
Yeah.
And South Africa, though, it's bad state.
They reach the top of the WTC
New
table.
Zealand
There's no
ditto.
people in the stands.
West Indies ditto. There are only 3-4 countries where Apas we play and we watch
And even then, we may not reach the WTC final.
but we love the sport, so we watch it.
Yeah, that we do.
Whatever.
Unbanned.
Even if 2 countries are left, we'll still watch it. There'll be like series between us and them.
But we'll have to play at neutral venue then. At all times.
No, home and away, home and
No, 2 countries left will be India, Pakistan. Na?
Bangladesh also. Australia also. England also.
Australia has plenty of sport.
So Australia,
New Zealand.
England.
Even
Australia.
New Zealand, it's really
Nah.
struggling.
No, Nepal people really like that. cricket.
But they have to come to that.
Yeah.
I agree, Nepal. You'll have to get associate countries.
Afghanistan for that matter.
Afghanistan, yeah.
So it'll be, see, Sri Lanka also struggling. So India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, 4. Australia 5, England 6. That'll be it.
Yeah.
And then you'll have just the IPL 6 months.
6 months of IPL.
Yeah. It's again, it might sound like a little bit of a joke right now, but we are not too far away.
Yeah, not
From
now.
6
I'm
months,
saying-
8 months.
No. I'm saying not now. 70 years from now, real possibility.
Maybe
Real
even lesser than that.
I'm just still saying,
Yeah.
real possibility.
You know, we've seen those reports where the IPL was tried to, be made into a 90-day tournament.
No, IPL increasing. I'm saying countries only left really playing active cricket. Like it'll be played like as little bit here and there.
One thing is going to be like,
But then how do you then, so only time we'll see in this century that cricket be played at the Olympics will be the one coming up now. After that, if this is the state of cricket, then forget cricket at Olympics also.
No, 6 countries are there.
Yeah, but
And only 6 can qualify for the
Yeah.
Olympics.
and those are going to be the top 6 in the ICC rankings. There's going to be a cutoff date.
No,
So-
One thing that may happen with the Olympics, China will prepare a team. They will
Ah.
Olympic gold they want.
But one thing is for like.
But
is
not
going to-
Hangzhou like they did, yeah.
That was terrible.
Yeah. One thing is going to remain
There
the
was
same.
even,
actually.
there's this ground in Gurgaon. It's called Mac. It was smaller than
Yeah.
that. It was so small. Not even 40, I think 40, 50 meters at the max, the boundary.
Weird dimension.
Yeah.
Very weird dimension.
And it was made somewhere in between. I think they removed some roads and just made it there. Pakistan didn't even qualify for the final there. No? They lost the bronze medal as well.
India Afghanistan final.
That though I
Yeah,
know, but
yeah.
Pakistan didn't even win a medal there.
Yeah.
But at least now Pakistan have a chance.
Pakistan in
But see,
You know, Pakistan has a chance of
Vishi's Atma has
going into a bigger contingent. This time they had 4 people, 4 or 7 in the Olympics. Next time at least that 11 more.
No, but one thing
They'll
is
have
going to remain the
in their
same
boat.
for the next, even after 70 years, is that England are going to be 6th in the WTC and they are not going to give, they are not going to, care about WTC. It's as
Yeah,
simple
like-
as
By
that.
the way, we
Stokes-
must have one dugout on this farce called WTC points
Yeah,
table. Yeah.
please.
It is quite a farce.
Don't WTC
South
as a whole.
Africa, I'm sorry, is a country that's not even taking Test cricket seriously. Sending B team to
Team to New Zealand.
cancelling tours for their own T20, and they're going to qualify for WTC. I'm sorry.
It's
I am
interesting how the
sorry,
math,
this
interesting how
is
the math has worked
unacceptable.
out. 2-2 match series, again, I think Graham Smith was very, very right in dissecting the whole situation. Of course, winning a 5-match series, that too, for an England or an Australia or an India is going to be much tougher than winning 2-2 series at home to, let's say, Bangladesh and Pakistan that's coming up. So it started with that 2-0 rout only with a stand-in captain with players we had to Google who went to New Zealand. Then that 1-1 drawn series against India. And look at it now. They're there.
No,
Table
but
toppers.
WTC as a
One
whole only
episode.
is very.
Yeah, different episode. We'll do one indeed.
I think one episode on how baseball has turned out to be an utter failure too. Please.
Don't tell
We
that to
did
Michael
that.
Vaughan. He's praising. He's saying, "Wow, you'll see how England will play."
I
us."
want to tell you one more story that I read today. That Joe Root has termed Harry Brook the best batter in the world
Yes,
at this
he
very
has,
moment. He
has.
has played in only 3 conditions.
There's a new debate I saw on social media yesterday where people have now started to discuss what that next generation of Fab 4 will look like. Harry Brook has made it to the next generation. There's Yashasvi Jaiswal's name as well.
Bindu Mendes.
And
No.
yeah,
These are no. I know what you have seen. I've seen the same thing.
We'll see.
That's why I know.
There's a problem with England. No, they're same in football. They're same in cricket.
Perennial underachievers.
No, but it's like
but now
Jack of all trades, master
most
of.
focus is on English football team. Every World Cup, they do nothing.
every
It's coming home.
every time it's coming home, every team is a golden generation.
Let be okay. Moving forward, the difference between VK and Rohit Sharma is that one has considerably declined while the other is pretty much done. Shivam, if you
I was
be
about
kind
to
enough to
say-
show us the name of the gentleman, his name is Sarthak Arya. Have you taken the comment before that?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
we
Sarthak Arya saying, which I think is pretty much bang on. Nothing much that we can add. He's right, and that is a problem. One of them needs to step up in this series.
Yeah.
Shaky vlogger from the UK says, both batting fragile, but India all out under 200 3 times out of 4. Plus Australia playing home, that gives Australian batters slight advantage. India batting collapse quite often. This is also a valid point, and I think we've discussed that. That's why a lot of us are giving that slight edge to Australia. It is true, but I still think there is not a lot to choose between the two batting lineups. They're both really bad, but yeah, home conditions as well as the recent performances, slight gives you more hope for Australia. But let's see. Let's see. One test match and our opinions change 180 degree.
Yeah.
Well, we had the same opinions.
You are the only one with the same.
No. Everyone.
Let's see.
Sarthak Arya, he says that he's beginning to get monkey gate vibes from SIRAJ head controversy. By the way, I am not getting threats and abuses from RCB fans and trolling Siraj these days.
Yeah, because.
So
they've
for
let
him,
it go.
it's contrary to what I think we sort of mentioned a couple of minutes back, that this may not be, in terms of volume, in terms of the magnitude of the event, be as close to what things were like in 2008.
Okay. Shardul Shastra Buddhe says, good evening to everyone. And my question to all of you is there been a dip in batting skill in cricket post-COVID?
I think Joe Root doesn't like this question at all. He's definitely had a massive rise after
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Scored close to 20 odd centuries.
20, yeah.
of Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
Stop.
Didn't stop at all. I think in a way, maybe he's right. Maybe. Because we have seen fewer number of centuries. Maybe good partnerships or so, definitely, but very fewer number of centuries, probably in comparison to what we have had in from batters who are, let's say, are a part of the full member nations. Not really sure about it. We'll have to dig out the numbers for it.
Yeah, we'll have to dig out
but
because
maybe.
To talk about India, let's say, we've in two T20 World Cup cycles, we've seen how our batters and how our philosophy has changed from us wanting to dig it out, learning our lesson in 2022 to then wanting to bash every ball out of the ground, and then thankfully in 2024 winning as well. So we also made so many adjustments in all of that. Maybe cricket's just changed.
But when T20 cricket is going on, that's exactly what we want. Low scoring games. We want the bowlers to be in the game. Now when batters are not scoring runs in test cricket, this is exactly what we wanted, and I don't think that there's a problem in that. Even if if 30, late 30s and early 40s is considered to be a good average moving ahead, I'm totally fine with that because that's getting the bowlers in the game.
No, then let test cricket be test cricket. Yeah. Maybe I'm old school. Test cricket has to be test cricket, na? Bigger runs, batting for long, it's the same. Cameos are good enough in T20s. Cameos are good enough in ODI. Now cameos in test cricket also. Everyone just plays a cameo.
No, then players with this average can stay in the team. They can maybe play 200 test matches, not just
I'm not a
100.
fan of it. I'm not a fan of it. Siddharth is saying, I wish God's plan be. Wow, God's plan.
Yeah.
Siraj running down the batting order of Australia at Gabba. Those scenes of Sri Lanka cannot imagine. Much like Ishant Sharma at Perth.
Yeah, Ricky Ponting.
After that, I hope that happens. That'll set the series up to an amazing finish.
Siraj has actually done it twice in the last 1 or 1.5 years or so. Sri Lanka and South Africa. That second test you played against South Africa this year. He took a
In
6
fact,
or
where he
7
announced
wicket haul.
himself in Test cricket, wasn't it Brisbane only?
Yeah, he took a 5-wicket haul there.
Yeah.
And was immensely praised by Sachin Tendulkar for the
Yes.
steep bounce he generated.
Yes.
Final comment of the night, and this comes from Rohan Verma. He says, what happened to the Champions Trophy schedule? Good question, my friend. Why the delay since 3 days ago? It was all sorted. Well, see, that's exactly what he explained. Nothing had been given in writing. That's why I'm saying, let's hold our horses. We haven't heard the last of the Champions Trophy and you know what comes of it. Things are still up in the air. And the only thing we knew is that Pakistan agreed to the hybrid model with a few conditions. But now with those conditions, BCCI did not sign on any paper on those conditions. And they want a written assurity. That's not going to come. And if that doesn't go down well, as I said, there'll be only two options. Either the Champions Trophy happens somewhere else, or it doesn't happen at all. So it's an impasse which continues. The broadcaster has come with a promo saying coming soon, that's all. They've just got one promo, it says coming soon. Where? What? Nothing. It's coming soon. Because they also don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, final comment, Dr. Batra. Thank you so much, Bharat Batra. He watches us very regularly and thank you for your kind comment. He says, which tenure was better? From the OT, not today from the OT, but we'll do a dugout on that. Ravi Shastri and...
He's been asking this since yesterday.
Yeah, let's do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Let's do this
really
tomorrow.
want to.
We'll do this tomorrow.
But then again, the captains will also get looped in.
We will, of course, loop everyone in.
No.
Why not?
No, tomorrow I was off that.
Join us on Zoom. Anshu Mishra is saying, Nikhil sir, Test cricket is not dying. Test cricket is like old music. No matter how many auto-tune singers come, they can never be another Kishore Kumar. I completely agree with you, Anshu. But the reality is, whatever we say, this is very romantic. The thing is, auto-tune singers are doing well. A lot of good singers are not getting a lot of singing gigs. The industry is being controlled by companies rather than individuals. I heard people like Sonu Nigam and all complain about the standard of the industry and the way it's working. So nothing is hunky-dory and similar in Test cricket. Yes, there are people like you and I who are crazy, but I'm saying masses-wise, it's not how it used to be.
Interesting that this comment comes at a time where there is an rather famous, what do you want to call him? There's this popular singer who's accused of using the auto-tune way too often.
Yeah.
And
Concert in Delhi also very soon, on a flying stage.
But Shivam's favorite, Diljit doesn't use, na?
oh, no way.
Diljit sings.
No way.
He's saying he's laughing. Would you even ask me this question? He was in Indore recently doing a show, na?
Yes.
Eating Indori poha and
His favorite team is KKR.
I know he used one of the Rahat Indori's share also
He did.
in his concert, I saw. Without getting into the details, thank you very much for your company. Anything you want to say, Shashwat? Now is your chance. Or forever hold your silence. Because you're off then. You won't be able to speak for 2 days. So say anything you want to say. Any opinion.
That's a hard bargain.
Exactly. Go for it. Nothing.
I hope you don't do this.
Please let us know if he looks like that guy from Mirzapur. What's the character's name? Guddu from Mirzapur.
Guddu Pandit.
Guddu Pandit.
Guddu Pandit.
Even I am off tomorrow, but the point is that I wanted to ask you.
I'm just wondering what we did for the last 1 hour. We started the discussion with my offs. Now we're talking about these guys' offs. Okay, tomorrow Dugout we're just discussing schedules.
Yeah, no, but I think I really wanted to ask Siddharth this question, that among us, he's the one who didn't really back Siraj in that incident versus Travis Head. So I really wanted to know where is he coming from.
No, I too did.
Yeah, he also didn't back, but I really wanted to know, what's really going in Vishy's head.
He would have did. I mean,
Sorry, I can't help you with the answer.
you can call him.
I text him.
Better to call him directly.
He'll come back. I won't disturb him.
He'll come
He's
back.
not there.
He'll come back refreshed tomorrow. But with the same thoughts.
No chess match today?
No, today is rest day. Yeah.
Why doesn't he start playing chess professionally? I asked him this that day also.
Yeah, professionally is a bayat ka khel hai.
No,
You
no,
can be a
no.
chess enthusiast, you can be a decent player. You can't start playing professionally na yaar. Why don't you start playing cricket professionally?
I too tried now.
You also must have tried.
Former test cricketer.
Former test cricketer of Vasant Kunj.
Vasant Kunj is now.
He'll struggle to make the Vasant Kunj all-time 11. There'll be many players.
Vikaspuri all-time 11, I would not have made the cut for sure.
Vasant Kunj also. Vikaspuri to no chance.
No chance,
No
Vikaspuri.
chance. No chance.
There will be like some 50
No,
Ranji players.
I think
Ranji.
India players only 5.
No,
Yeah,
but
Ranji
50
only.
you might have a chance in Vinobhapuri.
That I know.
Vasant Kunj, all top academy players will come. Yeah.
Nobody.
On that note,
Yeah,
guys,
yeah,
take
yeah.
care. Bye-bye, good night,
Yeah.
Nandri, Vanakkam, Shubhratri, Shabba Khair.
Will he make the India Today all-time 11?
Hey.
Eat your vegetables and no trouble.
Bye.
Bye guys. It was good fun as always.